brain fears rejection more than physical pain. Studies show that social exclusion activates the same neural circuits as physical injury. To your nervous system, being excluded is not a social inconvenience. It is a survival threat. Thousands of years ago, rejection from the tribe meant death. So your brain evolved to treat disapproval as danger. That mechanism still runs in the background. But here is where it becomes complicated. Some people do not just fear rejection. They organize their entire identity around preventing it. They do not simply want connection. They want universal approval. They want to be liked by everyone. At first, this sounds positive. It sounds socially intelligent. It sounds mature. Who would choose to be disliked? But the psychology underneath is not about kindness. It is about fear management. When approval becomes your main strategy for safety, you begin shaping yourself around other people's expectations. You scan faces for micro-reactions. You analyze tone shifts. You detect subtle mood changes. And you adjust. You soften your voice around dominant personalities. You downplay your success around insecure ones. You laugh at jokes you do not find funny. You agree with opinions you do not fully believe. Not because you are dishonest, but because your brain prioritizes safety over authenticity. This creates a silent habit. Self-editing. Before speaking, you calculate. Before reacting, you filter. Before disagreeing, you hesitate. Over time, this constant adjustment becomes automatic. You no longer notice it, but your body does. Your nervous system stays alert in social situations. You feel responsible for keeping interactions smooth. You feel tension when conflict appears. Even small disagreements feel oversized. So you avoid friction. You avoid saying no directly. You avoid strong boundaries. You become agreeable, flexible, low maintenance. And on the surface, this works. People describe you as nice, easygoing, pleasant to be around. But something else quietly happens. When you remove friction from every interaction, you also remove definition. Friction reveals edges. Edges reveal identity. Without edges, your personality becomes fluid. And when everyone sees a slightly different version of you, there is no stable core being expressed. This is the hidden cost of universal approval. You start outsourcing your identity. Instead of asking, "What do I think?" you ask, "What will keep this smooth?" Instead of asking, "What do I need?" you ask, "What will keep them comfortable?" Your decisions become social calculations. Your emotions become negotiable. Real anger gets swallowed. Real disappointment gets minimized. Real needs get postponed. And suppressed emotions do not disappear. They accumulate, first as mild irritation, then as quiet resentment, then as emotional exhaustion. Because pretending is cognitively expensive. Constant self-monitoring consumes mental energy. You are running background software all the time, tracking reactions, adjusting responses, maintaining harmony. Eventually, you feel tired without knowing why. Here is the irony. The more you try to be liked by everyone, the less deeply anyone actually knows you. They know the agreeable version, the pleasant version, the socially optimized version, but not the unfiltered one. And humans trust stability. When people sense over-adjustment, even unconsciously, they feel something unstable. Authenticity creates predictability. Predictability creates trust. Trust creates respect. When you constantly shapeshift, others may like you, but they struggle to define you. And what cannot be defined rarely feels strong. This is why universal approval often leads to quiet invisibility. You are accepted, but not fully seen. The brain confuses approval with safety, but real psychological safety does not come from everyone liking you. It comes from knowing who you are and tolerating the discomfort of not being liked by some. Discomfort is not danger. Conflict is not rejection. Disagreement is not abandonment. When you allow small amounts of friction, you create outline. When you express boundaries, you create structure. When you stop over-adjusting, you create presence. And presence is stronger than approval. Not everyone will like you. That is not failure. That is definition.